Hello, this is Mr. Radish, and what we're doing today is we're talking about the metric system. The things that you need to know for the quiz later is the different kinds of units that we have. And the first one we want to talk about is mass. Mass will be used when we're dealing with liquids and solids, and this will be used in as grams. And then we'll also use length. So when we're measuring distances or places inside the room, this will be in meters. And then one more is volume. You use this already in the store when you buy your 1 liter bottles of Coke or Pepsi or Pop. So these are the things that you'll need to remember. Mass is measured in grams, length is measured in meters, and volume is measured in liters. One thing that you need to know about mass is not weight. So whenever we talk about weight, that is a unit of gravity. Mass is about all of the stuff that's inside you, from your protons, neutrons, electrons, all of those things put together. Prefixes. Now whenever you talk about prefixes, these are the ones that are always going to go with the base. The bases are the length, so this is meters, the grams, which is in the mass, and then the volume would be liters. So the prefixes that go with this is kilo. Kilo equals 1,000 of anything. Then you have hecto. Hecto equals 100 of anything. So it would be 100 meters, or it would be a hectometer. Then you have deca, which would be tens of meters. And then you have the base. So there is what you have so far. Base equals 1. Okay, so we need to erase this just a little so that we can make this a little smaller so we can write on the other side. So we just have to remember that kilo equals 1,000 of something. Now we're going to get smaller. We're going to get into the decimal part of it. Now you have the deci, which equals 0.1. So it's 0.1. Then you have centi, like centimeter, equals 0.01. That means it would take 100 centimeters to equal 1 meter. And then we have milli, which equals 0.001. These are the prefixes that we will use. Kilo equals 1,000, hecto equals 100, deca equals 10. Then you have the base, which would be meters, liters, and grams. So a decigram is 1/10 of a gram. So now what we want to do is we want to do maybe some equations. Now one of the things that you want to remember always is one cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter equals 1 gram. Alright, so now when we look at this, and let's take, for example, you want to figure out how long a football field is in feet. Well, we know that a football field is 100 yards. Okay. How many feet is that? Well, we know that a yard has 3 feet, so that would equal out 300 feet. And that's as easy as it gets. But boy, is that tough. How about if we figure out how many inches that would be? Then we'd have to multiply 300 feet times 12, 300 feet times 12, and now we're looking at 3,600 of those inches. Tough stuff. How about let's not do that? And whenever we talk about let's not do that, then let's say that we do something a little bit easier. Let's put that gram back there. So let's say you want to find out how many milliliters are in a decimal. On this graph here, I want to show you some problems that we're going to have. We're going to try and figure out 5 centimeters equals how many milliliters. And this is pretty easy because what you're going to do is you're going to put the 5 centimeters here, and you'll notice that the millimeters are in this direction. So when you do that, the decimal place follows the arrow. So the 5 will go here, and it moves over one place. So 5 centimeters will equal 50 millimeters. So there is a good example of this. Let's do one more. Let's say that we want 8 meters to equal how many millimeters. So whenever we look at this, let's take, for example, let's erase this part right here, and let's put in, we got 8 meters, which is base. And we want to figure out how many millimeters that is. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3 to the right. Alright, so the 8 stays, that doesn't change, and you go 1, 2, 3 places. Millimeters. So that would be 8,000 with the decimal place right there. So now we have 8,000 millimeters equals 8 meters. Okay, so let's slide. In the next slide again we see this. Now let's figure out how many 4 hectograms will equal if we was to go to centigrams. Again, we're looking at going to the right. So we have 4 hectograms, and you go 1, 2, counting the base, 3, 4. So now you got the 4, and it's moving to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4. 40,000 centigrams. One more. Let's do one more. Whenever you hit 2.5 centimeters, 5 centimeters equals how many decameters? Decameters, DA meters. So whenever we do this, you'll notice that you have centimeters is right here, so you got 2.5, and it goes 1, 2, 3. So now all of a sudden you got the 2.5, and you want to go 1, 2, 3, 0.00, so now it's 0.0025 decameters equals 2.5 centimeters. And that is how we do the conversions. And I'll leave those examples up there for you too. So just remember that 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter equals 1 gram. And that whenever you use the chart, so on the chart, the decimal follows the arrow. So those are the things that you need to remember. 1 cubic centimeter equals 1 milliliter equals 1 gram, and then on the chart the decimal follows the arrow on all of the equations. Thank you very much. Be ready for a quiz. This is coming up next.